Okay, hello again and welcome to the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you checked out last week's video, it's already been a week. I'm still in the same car driving. I'm still wearing the same clothes. So don't worry about me. Now, if you checked out last week's video, thank you. I'm filming some of these consecutively, but splitting them up into different videos, just so I'm not rambling on about different topics, which when I watch my videos back, I tend to do. So I'm trying to do a little bit better with making a little bit shorter videos and more direct to certain points that I want to make, and then spread it out a little bit so you guys don't get all this information at once and not really care, and just a little more focused. So we're trying something new, a little more focused me. Now, not to the point I thought about, do I write a script and do I take notes? No, we're still not there yet. I don't know if we'll ever be there. I don't know if the videos would be better or worse for it. So at this point, it's still kind of off the cuff, but at least a direction for the video. So I mentioned in the last one something about trail names, and immediately after I said it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's a whole story about trail names that I've never really shared on camera. There's a lot of stuff on the PCT that I didn't really share on camera because I just didn't have the time to sit down and one-on-one with the camera as much as I would have liked to. I don't know if that's good, I don't know if that's bad. I tried to do a balance. I noticed a lot in the PCT Oregon series that I just talked to the camera a ton and wasn't filming nature as much. Like, I think most people would want to see the nature that's out there and enjoy that. So I tried to lean more heavily into this PCT journey, filming more of the nature and less of the talk to the camera. But then I think that also helped because my dad was with me. I wasn't cutting into our time together, always pulling out a camera. But then I got a lot of following from people who were interested in Dad's side of the kind of thing, and then I think it let them down because they weren't hearing a daily update on basically how he was feeling, how I was doing, or whatever. So once again, like I said before, these are a learning process. I'll just continue to learn and what you guys want in response and get better and better, hopefully, as we go along. But because of that, I didn't always share a ton of stuff about everything that was going on during the PCT adventure, this last one. So check out on the website. I don't know exactly when the dates are going to line up versus when this video's coming out or whatever, but at some point I'm going to have a blog series on our website detailing day-to-day short little journals about what went on each day and kind of my feelings through both the Oregon PCT and through this longer one with 740 whatever miles, me and Dad, that'll hopefully go into a little more detail about some of the stuff for those of you that are interested in that and wanted more of that on the trail. Hopefully that'll be kind of a combination between the videos and the writing to fill you in about it. So anyway, my point being, see, there I went off on some tangent. My point being that trail names, talked about in the last video, and those of you who don't know, on the PCT, already through hiking experience is kind of in the through hiking culture now, is you're out there on trail long enough, everyone someone gifts you, or an experience happens or whatever where they give you a trail name, and it's the name you go by out on trail, because you're introducing yourself to so many people on a daily basis, and it's kind of a name that's unique to your hiking life, your hiking experience. So usually it has to do with some kind of funny story or something, some mishap or some whatever, or some just wonderful moment, or something you said, or something you're wearing a lot of times. There's been people that I've met named like Hawaiian or Hawaiian guy or whatever. They hike in a Hawaiian shirt, or red shorts and they have bright red shorts, or something like that, and they'll get the names for that. Or we met an older gentleman that always had something in his backpack for people to help them out or whatever. It's like, oh, I've got the whatever, the antidote for that thing, or the Band-Aid, or whatever you need. And they said, you're like the trail's grandpa, always taking care of everyone. His name was Grandpa or Granddad or something like that. So it's a combination of kind of their age or where they're from or something about them unique on trail. We met a guy named Gadget who had the same kind of deal, tons of stuff in his pack, and it was like Inspector Gadget. You could always pull out just random things that you wouldn't expect for anyone to have. Like, man, I wish someone had da-da-da-da, it'd be so nice, and boom, he'd have it. So I mean, all kinds of people with all kinds of different trail names or whatever, and usually, within the first couple of weeks, someone suggests something, because everyone's asking what your name is when they meet you, and you say whether you have a trail name or not. And a lot of people come from another through hiking trail, or the hiking community in general. You don't have to be a through hiker to get a trail name, but come from some kind of through hiking community in general, and so they already have one. So they come over from the AT or the CDT or whatever, and they're using the same one that they use. They just carry it forever. And like I mentioned in a previous video, a lot of hikers on YouTube, their trail name, like Darwin's one of the most famous, that's his trail name. And he got it, I believe, on the AT when he first started his first thru hike, and he's carried it through. He's carried it through his, his YouTube career, his business, and all that stuff, and still uses it for trail-related, purposes and whatever. So most people within the first week or two of whatever trail they're hiking, or whatever hiking experience or whatever that's in the group, get a trail name based on something they did or said, or they bring one with us. And we never, Dad wasn't a big proponent of it, like wasn't searching out a trail name or whatever, but we were usually with each other. We met a ton of other people, but we weren't like camping in big groups. We didn't have a group that we were hiking with specifically. They call it a tramley, your trail family. We never had like a tramley of people we were traveling with. We were a lot slower than most people, so we'd like meet people at a watering spot, or meet people at camp or whatever, and we see them for a day and talk to them for a little bit, but then we wouldn't. And there was a few people that we leapfrog every once in a while and see them regularly, to the point where we would know their name and they'd know us, but just as Dwayne and Nick and not as anything else. And we kept telling people we don't have it when they'd ask. We don't have a trail name, and a lot of people were like, oh, we'll work on that, we'll think of that. But because we hiked mostly with ourselves, people weren't necessarily getting to know us enough to be like, here's what we're going to call you guys. And because we were father and son, and that was so unique to the trail, we'd run into people and they'd be like, are you the father and son? And so we even joked about our trail name should be father and son, because people know us more by that. And because they had a way to tag us, they had a way to name us as that, no one was searching out necessarily a trail name. It's like, what are we going to call them? Well, they're the father and son. And I don't know if we were the only ones, because a couple times people were saying, oh, we heard about you, and we thought the kid was younger. We thought, you guys were behind us or whatever. So maybe there was another father and son we never met that was with a younger son. We're not sure. So maybe we're getting confused with another father, and we never met anyone else, but maybe we're getting confused with another father and son group. I don't know. But because of that, we were the father and son. We were already kind of tagged as that. So I don't think anyone was looking to kind of give us a name. And then when people asked, the further we got into the trail, do you guys have a trail name? We met new people. No, people are like, what? How do you get this far without someone suggesting something? So I don't remember what the initial, if anyone suggested anything initially. They were talking with, like we said, father and son or something like that. And I'm trying to remember exactly where we met this guy, I believe in Mission Creek. I'm trying to think where that's at mileage wise. It was after San Jacinto. I can't remember exactly. After San Jacinto, we came out of the desert floor and climbed into Mission Creek. And somewhere in that area, we came to a watering hole one day, and we're filling up with water. And this guy walked up behind us, real big pack. He's like, oh, water, this is so exciting. Is there any place to swim? And we're like, well, not here. It's just this little creek, but maybe further up. Oh, sweet. And he just went off through the brush, not even a trail. He was going to find a place to swim. We met up with him later. He said he did. He found this perfect swimming spot. You guys should have came up the stream. It was just magical, or blah, 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 blah. And his trail name was Coffee. And we began to, and I can't remember if we ever were told why. I think he came from another trail. His trail name was Coffee. Obviously, I assume it had something to do with, a religious cup of coffee in the morning, or a little more to the story, or something like that. And we came to start looking for his sign-in the trail registries, which is another way to kind of keep track of people, because they'd write their trail name and the date they were there. We could kind of be like, are they in front of us, and how many days in front of us? So we started looking for him in those books, and we found out his name was Bob. When he wrote his trail name, he said Bob Coffee, and Coffee was in quotations his name, so his name was Bob, and Coffee's his trail name. So we kept calling him Bob Coffee all the time. I thought that had a nice ring to it. Every time we see him, hey, Bob Coffee, or whatever. He's a very unique guy. He's a really funny guy. He did some quirk, like I said, going up the trail. Like, I'm going to find a watering hole, and just right through the bushes. We did a lot of things like that, where it's like just a little bit different behavior than the rest of the trail, or whatever, but he was a super friendly guy. And anyway, further down Mission Creek, I believe it was just before we got to Big Bear, or 2 days before Big Bear, we came to this really large spot in this stream or whatever. We dipped our feet in. A lot of people swam. By the time we got there, Bob had already got there and swam. He's kind of laying on the bank, relaxing, like, hey guys, and he's seen us a couple days. How's it going? And he just had plans and talking about his plans. He also carried a bear barrel, I think, from the beginning, so that's why his pack was so huge. So I'm gonna have to carry it eventually, so I'm gonna get used to it now. So he had that in his pack, really big pack. super nice guy, and kind of just hit it off with us, and we talked for a while. So anyway, we're at this watering hole place, and he takes off to leave. Oh, he makes a comment before he leaves about, you guys have trail names yet or whatever? No, still nothing. He's like, I'll work on that. I'm going to think about that. He's like, I'm going to come up with something for you guys. And he kind of prided himself on giving out trail names, and a lot of people do. I don't trail, like, if you don't have one, I'll figure one out for you. They really set their mind to it. So like, okay. And Dad had said that he was going to be real selective, like he didn't just want any trail name. That'd be something he really liked or whatever before he was going to adopt it, because he didn't really understand the trail name culture. He's like, it doesn't make sense to me. I have a name. Why wouldn't I just go by what my name is? We ran into a lot of older guys who were like that, and they made jokes like, it took me this long to learn the name I've got, and why would I want another one or whatever? So he had told it's a high bar or whatever. So anyway, Coffee takes off. Gonna think about it. We'll see you down trail, right? He heads down. He's gone for about 5 minutes, and suddenly we hear a rustling in the bushes coming back behind us down the trail. And so we all kind of look back like, what the heck is that about? And it's Coffee running down the trail. I got it. He's yelling, I got it. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? How far down the trail did you get or whatever? And he's like, points to Dad, and he's like, you should be Block, and he should be Chip. And then he's like, that's it, that's the one. And then Dad laughs, I laugh, and he takes off. So if you don't get it, I mean, it seemed pretty obvious to us, but Chip off the old Block. And Dad's the Block, and I was the Chip. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was super clever. Not that Chip is like, yeah, I want to be called Chip, but I thought the combination of us. And I always figured before Dad went with us, I'd get a trail name. I was kind of excited to be like, what would my trail name be or whatever. I was always interested and curious what it would have been, but I knew once I took Dad and he was going to be with me the whole time that it would be unique to being me and Dad. It was going to be a father-son type name just because we were a team now. So I kind of accepted it was going to be like Son or something like Chip or whatever. So I laughed, and Dad's like, no way are we going with Block, and I'm going to be called Block or whatever. And I kept telling him, like, I don't know, that's pretty clever. I don't know that we're going to get better. So we never really accepted it fully, but now that we're kind of off trail, it's kind of like, oh, I wish we would have leaned into that a little more, because we never got another good suggestion. We had a couple other people suggest different things down the trail that were so nothing worth sharing or nothing clever enough or whatever, just individual moments that just didn't really match us or whatever. And I don't think anyone really spent enough time with us to make it personality based. It was just you're a father and son. So I think off of father and son, Chip off the old Block isn't too bad. So that was kind of our cool story that I don't think I ever really shared in any of the videos. So Block and Chip it is, at least for now, until there's something different. I'm definitely not naming my channel, Chip or something like that, but it's a cool story. One of Dad's friends on Facebook, who now follows me on Facebook because of the journey and posting all our stuff on Facebook, commented about, I hope to talk to your dad. An old friend of Dad's, I haven't talked to your dad in a while. I hope to talk to him about the adventure. So I guess they got on the phone for several hours, and then he left a comment the next day on one of the videos that said, I talked to your dad. It was so good to get in touch and hear all your guys' stories. I hope to meet you someday, Chip. I thought that was really kind of funny. I'm like, well played. So that's that story. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Hopefully that was somewhat entertaining for you. Keep staying tuned. I got more little videos in this series I want to do of kind of rounding things up after the PCT, and then on to what's next in new business. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Should be a new video every Wednesday and for the foreseeable future. Thanks for following along in the journey, and thanks for sticking with us as we continue to journey on. So thanks.